musician, composer, actor, and artist, Mr. Shankar Mahadevan. A very good morning to one and all present here. Can we please have Mr. Shankar Mahadevan join us on the stage? And can we please have a huge round of applause? A very good morning to one and all present here. It gives me immense pleasure in welcoming one of Bollywood's best music composers, producers, and performers, the one and only Shankar Mahadevan. Mr. Mahadevan is a classical Indian vocalist who rose to fame with the release of his pop fusion record, Breathless, that sold millions of copies all over the world. Endowed with an exceptionally versatile background in music, Mr. Mahadevan was a qualified software engineer with Oracle before he quit the corporate world to pursue his love of music and eventually mesmerize us all with his distinctive voice and evergreen compositions. From classical music to pop music to film music, and even bhajans and international music, he has done it all. With music partners Ehsan and Lloyd, the trio set out to rock the music industry with mind-blowing compositions and performances.
A very warm welcome to you, sir. It is indeed an honor for all of us seated here to have you amongst us. Today's session is being telecast live, and our campuses all over the world are privileged to see this telecast. Leadership is about making others better as a result of your presence and making sure that the impact lasts in your absence. All of us seated here are waiting to listen to our guest today for an everlasting impact on our lives. So, sir, we invite you to a lively conversation with our friends. Over to our panelists.
Good morning, sir. I am Navneet, and these are my fellow panelists, Atmaza, Mihika, and Sarne. And I know I speak for all of us when I say it brings us immense pleasure to have you at our school for this year's latest edition of the Leadership Lecture Series. Sir, with your permission, may we begin the session? Thank you, sir. Sir, we have the first question from a curious student who wishes to know, you were a software engineer in a multinational company before you decided to embrace your passion for singing and pursue it as a career. So many of us students also have different passions in life. We want to understand from you, how did you decide that singing is what you really wanted to do? And what were the difficulties you faced in making and following up with this decision?
Good morning, all. It's really wonderful to be here, and I would be very honest and very sincere, share with you all that I have never seen a school like this in my life. So all of you are extremely lucky. And you all should thank God and thank all your parents and the people who have introduced you to a school like this, that you're exposed to facilities like this, because suddenly the visual of my school comes when I see the school, and then then I say, wow, this is great. Anyway, coming to your question, I'm from a very basic middle-class South Indian family. I used to live in a small suburb called Chembur, and what happens in South Indian families normally is music is part of your upbringing, and you are learning classical music. Somebody's learning classical music, somebody's learning dance, somebody's learning mridangam, somebody's learning violin. It's part of the growing up. So similarly, I was also learning music, and from a very young age, I used to perform in small little schools, or a small Ganpati celebration, or somebody's having a small program in somebody's garage. I go and perform over there. So it was part of my growing up. In the meantime, what happens is your education is very important, and I believe that whatever you're doing, I think education plays a very important role in your life. I think you definitely can make out the difference between a person who's educated and non-educated. So it makes a difference. So and education played a very important role in our family. So I went on to do my 12th standard and then did my engineering, and you're going at a great pace, you know. But along with this is a passion that's bubbling within you, and you're all the time you're asking yourself whether, you know, should I do this? Can I take this up as my, you know, bread and butter, for my daily, you know, as in my daily activity? And you start also fantasizing that, wow, you know, how wonderful it will be that I have to get out of the house in the morning and I have to go and I have to just do music the whole day and nothing else, you know, and come back and the next day again I go and do music. What a wonderful life it will be if I'm able to do that. I used to see musicians, you know, who are in the jingle industry, who are in the film industry, who go and the whole day they are in the studio or they are performing. I say, what a life this is. But at the same time, engineering was also happening. Reading all your manuals and you're reading all your, you know, linear circuits and computer programs and oh God. So that was also enjoyable, but that was not as enjoyable as music. Nowadays, for you people, even music is a big business. Theatre is big business. Art is a big business. Sports is a big business. But during our time, I think the only two things that we could visualize was, hey, kya banna hai tere ko? Engineer or doctor? Jaldi decide kar. Fatafat, tomorrow is the last day to fill up the forms. Oh my God, what do I do? Okay, chalo, engineering. So that's how we did it, you know, and we filled up the form, we became engineers, we also started working because everything happens at a great pace. But one day, and that is the day when you have to take that call. That what day it is, you never know, but you just do a little bit of introspection and say that, hey, what is it that I want to do for the rest of my life? Do I want to sit in front of a monitor and develop software in Oracle and increase the turnover of some other company? Or do I want to do something which I'm passionate about? And even if I work 20 hours doing that particular thing, I'm not going to get tired. So do I want to do this or do I want to do that? And I thought that, you know, I had a better option in music. So that's why, you know, I got into the field of music, and here I am sitting in front of you people.
Music has the status of an extracurricular activity in most schools. In GIIS SMART Campus, we have music studios in place to teach this as a skill to bring about holistic development in our students. So, do you think music deserves a place as part of regular academics and skill-based studies as opposed to just an extracurricular activity?
Very good question. Everywhere, music is very underestimated, the power of music. According to me, I think music is the highest form of communication. And I think in life, everything is about communication. You need to communicate something to people. I think music is the strongest tool that you can have to communicate. I have opened an academy 7 years back. It's the first online academy of that magnitude because I believe that music has to be taught to people, not only musicians but also non-musicians. Aap surila ho, non-surila ho, but still you have to learn music because I think the power that music gives you is just immense. To answer your question, yes, it has to be given more importance and it has to be got into the mainstream education because through music, you don't only teach the 7 notes. Through music, you don't only teach to perform, to entertain, or to become a great singer. Everybody cannot and need not become a Lata Mangeshkar or, you know, Bhimsen Joshi. Need not. The biggest thing that music gives you is joy. You know, and joy is something that we take for granted. But everything is a derivative of joy. If you can derive joy from somewhere. After you get your joy, through that joy you can access any other thing that you want. You are able to perform better, you are able to concentrate better. Imagine, I mean, if you've had a bad day, if you've had a fight with somebody, your mind is not up to it, are you able to study? Or, you know, somebody has like screamed at you, your parents have screamed at you in your house, and you're terrible. You're not in a state of joy. And because you're not in a state of joy, you're not able to perform your exams properly, you're not able to study properly, you don't even feel like, you know, enjoying with your friends because your mind is not peaceful. And what music gives you is peace of mind and joy. And that joy in turn triggers other things that you want to do. So primarily it gives you joy. Secondly, through music, you can teach anything. Given a choice, I would like to compose a song for all the mathematical formulas. Imagine, man, have a lovely song and with that funky groove with all the Pythagoras theorems and everything, A squared plus B, everything, just convert it into a song. I'm telling you that will be the easiest song. You will be dancing to it, singing to it, and the things that you're mugging up as CS3COOH plus H2 and so forth. You know, we used to make songs out of chemistry formulas when I used to do my engineering. Those were the toughest ones, man. I mean, you react with this and balance your equations and, you know, and you just make a song out of it. It just becomes easy. I'm just giving you an example, you know. Similarly, for young kids, you know, suppose you want to teach them how many states are there in India, or how many seasons are there in Singapore, for example. Other than mugging up that, just put it into a song, you know. So through music you can communicate, teach various things, and I think the power of music is immense. It has to be brought into the mainstream education. Music has to be not made compulsory, but make it as one of the subjects here. You know, remove one history subject, isn't it? Do you agree with me? In a week, if you have like 3 history lectures, 8 history lectures, nikal do and put one music here. Imagine you have somebody. I mean, if they give you a choice, just you play the drums. You feel like playing the drums, you play the drums. You want to play the guitar, play the guitar. You want to just scream into that mic, just do it, man. The biggest advantage of music is let go. It lets you go. You know, that you don't, you're always restrained, you know. Shh, hey, silence, don't talk, don't do this, don't do that. In your music class, groove, man, and just have a great time. You will be able to let go. When Sachin Tendulkar hits that century, or when he hits that sixer, what happens to you in the stands? Yeah! How many times do you do that in a day? You do it because you're in that state of ecstasy and you're in that state of mind, you know. That is what music gives you. When you're performing, you are always in that state. And it is the highest state of meditation. So I think, get music. And to get music, join hands in the Shankar Mahadevan Academy. Superb, man. By the way, all of you have to come for my concert, huh? Day after. When is it? Tomorrow, sorry. Not day after. Sorry, Purnima is making me guess. Tomorrow is the concert. So I'm performing with both of my sons, Siddharth and Shivam. And we're doing a wonderful concert called Bethak to Bollywood. So you'll be you know, seeing a whole spectrum of musical genres. We start off with a traditional classical, then we go into whatever, Thumri, Bhajan, Qawwali, Abang, this, that. And then of course in the end we have all our Dhamal, Bollywood stuff. So it'll be a great show, so try to come. Done? Are you done? 2 of you are left here.
Thank you, sir, for that insight. I'm sure every student present here could relate to it and at the same time find it extremely entertaining. For my question, sir, I would like to start by stating the fact that you have judged a lot of TV shows over the years and you have also mentored a lot of young singers. So tell me, in your experience, how important do you think these TV shows are in launching young budding talents?
Let's go back about 25 years or 30 years when there were no TV shows like this. Okay? And you can imagine a child who is in the interior of Odisha, Something is feeding back. Huh? That is the frequency that's feeding back. Turn that down. Yeah. Anyway, so imagine a child from the interior of Odisha, and he's extremely talented. He's gifted by God and he's able to sing every song like a dream. Where will he go? Where would he have gone to display his talent? For him to get out of Bhubaneswar and come to the city, from there take a flight and come to a metro like Mumbai, find a place to stay, possibly he's economically backward, to find a place to stay, that itself is a project that will occupy half his life, and then come and try to figure out how to reach out to what director, what producer, where will I sing, who will listen to my song, will anybody take me in my show, how will I reach out to these people? There is this, it's a complete, a dizzy kind of environment for him. He doesn't know what to do. Cut to today, you have all these reality shows. At least for a person who's, who's somewhere deep down there, who's got talent, at least he's got a goal, a place where he can dream of going. There is a particular destination that he can think. It's like the goal. The aim of the person playing football is to hit that goal. He knows that he has to go to Indian Idol. He knows that he has to go to Saregama. He knows that he has to go to Rising Star. He knows his goal. So at least he can start planning his journey. So these reality shows are extremely important. And do not think that winning these reality shows, that is the biggest misconception. Winning these reality shows is not important. Arijit Singh, who is the #1 singer today, I have judged him in Fame Gurukul about 9 years back. He was out of the reality show by public voting. He was out in the 5th round. And I have told him, and we've been in touch since then, we're constantly in touch and we're constantly chatting, talking, because I knew what kind of a musician he is. That's where, I knew that he's going to become India's one of the topmost singers because of the sheer talent that he had. But at least he had a platform where he could display stuff. He could reach out. Everybody knows all the singers by their first names. By the end of the show, wo kaisa hai, wo kaisa hai. Everybody knows the singers, and you are the biggest, celebrity by the end of the show. You need not have won the show, but everybody knows you're in everybody's house. So it's a great, great platform. But once you are out, do not think that you will become stars. Do not think that you will have arrived. Do not think that, now that I have, gone out of Rising Star, now I'm the biggest. That is the wrong conception. Think that that's the first step towards your long journey ahead, and start working hard after that.
Thank you, sir. Karan Mehta, who's our former student, is now a blockbuster music producer.
Karan with a Q, na?
Yeah.
You know something? He came and programmed for us first. For a film called Kill Dil. Yeah. So the entire programming of Kill Dil was done by Karan Mehta. So we met him and we introduced him to people, and he's an amazing artist. Yeah, go ahead.
But back in his day, the school did not have any skill-based facilities to hone students' talents. Today, we have over about 40 labs and studios to hone students' talents.
Yeah.
So, according to you, what do you think is the significance of such facilities, and how do you think it will help our students bloom in the future?
Achieving excellence in a particular art form, like maybe playing an instrument, or maybe becoming an RJ, like we visited a fantastic radio station out there, or becoming a sound engineer, or becoming a filmmaker, is accessibility to that particular equipment, is accessibility to a facility, is accessibility, easy accessibility. If you're If your harmonium is just kept on the table, you will practice every day. If you remove that harmonium and you keep it in your cupboard up there, tomorrow will rehearse. So you have your lab over there, you have your facility there, you have your expert trainers over there, you just open the door, walk in there and you have got the facility. It's extremely convenient, and convenience is a very important factor for you to, achieve excellence in whatever you are teaching. So, of course, you should call people like Karan Mehta over here, ask him to interact with the students, ask him to teach, maybe music production, maybe, programming and stuff like that. And the fact that you'll have 40 labs, kids, ye milta nahi hai kahin, please make use of this, okay? 40 labs, we had only 3 labs, one was physics, one was chemistry and one was biology. Those are the only 3 labs we had.
Yes, so we will use our labs. So in all...
Will you?
Yes, sir, we will use it.
She'll definitely use the lab.
Sir, in all years in the music industry, have you seen a change in the trend of emerging talent and the versatility in singers?
I'd like to state a very cliched line which is very useful and very, very apt, because they always say that the only constant is change, And you got to keep changing. You got to keep changing with times. You got to keep changing with what is happening around you. Your tastes change. Your musical preferences change. You keep, you change as a person. What you wear changes. What you eat changes. So why not the music? You have to go on changing. And if, being in the industry, if you do not change, the whole world will change and you will be somewhere behind over there. And the world will overtake you and go. So you have to hold people's hands and move with the change and go ahead with the change.
So recently, you can see a lot of music singers, Indians, making it big worldwide. Do you think Indian voices are very directly equipped to suit the Western style of singing?
Yes, definitely. There are so many people who are making a name globally, who have studied music in places like Berklee College of Music and other places, who have interacted with international musicians. So of course, ours is a country which has got such a strong musical heritage. And even if you learn Carnatic music or Hindustani music, your fundamentals of music become so strong, Because at the end of the day, whether you're doing Arabic music or pop music, rock music, whatever you're doing, you can't go beyond 12 notes. It's 12 notes, whatever you see. That's it. You can't go beyond this. Let me invent the 13th note. You can't. So, whatever you do, so if your fundamentals are strong, you can make a mark in whichever form of music that you are interested in, So it's great. Thank you.
Sir, in your many years of experience, what do you think is the most common mistake that young artists make when stepping into this vast industry?
I think the minute they step into the industry, they start calculating their success. That, okay, let me do this hit song. एक गाना हिट हो गया तो क्या होगा, मेरा ये एल्बम आएगा, एल्बम कम से कम 20 million views तो हो ही जाएंगे. After 20 million views, I'll be doing at least 3 shows a month. 3 shows, I'll charge them so much money. So, they start calculating. I think that is the worst thing to do. You just, relentlessly go after quality of work. You just pursue your art form and deep dive and become a musician of strength, extremely, strong musician who's grounded and whose fundamentals are very strong, and you just excel in your art form, whether you're a painter, whether you're a singer, and I think then success, your money, your fame, whatever, then all those things will automatically follow. So don't start thinking about those things. You just follow and do what you're doing relentlessly to perfection. There's a big difference between being good and being excellent, So people, they start feeling happy if they are good. they should go and they should try to become excellent. And that's the mistake they do.
From learning music, say, a decade ago, how do you think it has changed in modern times?
Sorry, come again?
Learning music, say, a decade ago, was very different from now. How do you think it has changed?
I'll give you my own example because I always believed in teaching music to students because this is a very important thing. So about 10 years ago, if I would have opened my academy, I would have had to first of all go and sit in front of Mantralaya at least for 6 months every day to get a small piece of land, and then I start constructing my building to construct my academy, and then of course with all that thing that would have taken about 3 to 5 years to make in India because things take time, you know how it is, and then get the students in, market the thing and get the students, and possibly I would have got about whatever 1,000, 2,000 students in that geographical area, or people who are very deeply interested in music, they fly and they come and stay and all that. That's a long drawn dream. As compared to that, now, cut to my academy right now. Now mine is an academy which I opened online. So that's the difference now. The online academy that I opened is 7 years old, and we are teaching Indian classical music in 76 countries at the same time. 76 countries. Can you believe it? So that is the difference between how music was taught a decade ago and how music is taught now. The academy is open 24 hours. The teachers are teaching 24/7. Meaning at this moment, some teacher from maybe UK is teaching some student from New Zealand. Use technology to your advantage. It's there all over, even in India. I think this is the first smart campus that you all have. Make use of that, man. This is the greatest. Technology is the greatest asset, but use it not to autocorrect your voice and auto-tune your Besura voice, Learn properly and then use it to your advantage so that you have a great song out there.
This is the last question for today. To what extent does a teacher contribute to learning music?
The most important thing in learning music is definitely the teacher. Because I think the teacher is somebody who shows you the path. My teacher, Mrs. T.R. Balamani, she didn't only teach me Rag Yoman, Rag Hamas, Rag Vimplasi. It's not about that. She taught me how to handle music. When I step out there into the big world, how to use this music. I gave a small example day before yesterday about, have you all heard the song Kajrare? Few of you all have heard. Have you all heard the song Kajrare? Yes. Okay, now I'll tell you what is the inspiration for Kajrare. Inspiration for Kajrare is a classical, semi-classical art form from India called Nama Sankirtan. Nama Sankirtan is in bhajans. It's a very simple thing. You sing one line, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hari, and the audience repeats, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hari, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hari, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hari. They go on repeating. That is Nama Sankirtan. That is the inspiration for Kajrare, Kajrare, Tere Kare, Kare, Naina chorus. Kajrare, Kajrare. So what I have done is I have directly used classical music into my item song which I have created for, you know what I mean? But I've used a principle. I've used some kind of aesthetic, some kind of the principle of one particular form of music I've used in that. If you're intelligent enough to do that, and if your teacher is intelligent enough to teach you magical formulas which you can open in various parts of your life, I think she's a great teacher, or he is a great teacher.
Thank you, sir, for patiently answering all of our questions. With that, we come to the end of this panel discussion. To the MCs.
All of you are just wonderful, huh? Superb. Well prepared. And as opposed to, we keep doing interviews, man. Every day we keep doing many interviews. All these four of them, they've asked very intelligent questions. So that is it's an amazing feeling for us. We experience all kinds of people. Yeah. Sir, आपने शुरू कैसे किया? And when you're answering, they are busy looking at the next question. I'm talking to the person looking at the next question. So we experience these people, but these 4 of them are wonderful. Super.
What a fantastic session with the power-packed performer, Shankar Mahadevan. I'm sure all of us seated here have enjoyed this morning. Let us have another round of applause for our guests.
May I request you to kindly sign our guest book so we can cherish this memory forever?
Okay, having a lovely audience like this and I just speak and go doesn't feel good, I'll sing 3 4 lines. Yeah. So you may not be there when I'm signing the guest book and all that. So I'll just sing and then you all can peacefully. चाहे जो तुम्हें पूरे दिल से मिलता है वो मुश्किल से ऐसा जो कोई कहीं है बस वही सबसे हंसी है उस हाथ को तुम थाम दो वो मेहरबान कोई हो न हो everybody sing with me, come on. हर घड़ी बदल रही है रूप जिंदगी हर पल यहाँ जी भर जियो जो है समा कल हो ना हो Thank you, children. You all are the future. The future is in your hands. Please take care of it. God bless you.
May I request our chairman, Mr. Atul Tanwarkar, to kindly present Mr. Shankar Mahadevan with a memento as a token of our love and respect.
Thank you, sir. Sir, requesting you to kindly pause on stage for a group photograph.